Yo, what up? It's Zach
Telle.
from The Word Alive, and check out Shout Loud TV. Peace.
Sitting here with The Word Alive. Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up?
Great.
Maybe introduce yourselves to our audience.
I am Zach. I play guitar in the band.
And my name is Telle and I sing.
So tell us, how's the tour been going? Have you been watching the other bands, and how were the crowd responses over here?
I'd say this is by far, we've been over to Europe probably, I think this is maybe our 10th time total. And this is my favorite time just because the bands are all awesome and the shows have been like blowing our expectations out of the water. So yeah, it's really nice to see your hard work pay off because the shows weren't always very great when we'd come over. You know, sometimes we'd have shows for 20 or 30 people and now there's, 200 or 300 or even more sometimes. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
You released an album called Dark Matter recently. First of all, congrats on the success of it. It's pretty great, I think.
Thank you.
What made you develop from a more typical post-hardcore band to a alternative metal direction this time around?
I think like the biggest thing was just we wanted to write an album for ourselves that like we were proud of, that we felt like showcased the I guess the growth of the band and showcased where the evolution of The Word Alive, was headed. And instead of focusing on what we had been or what we had done, it was more like defining The Word Alive so that from this point on, hopefully Dark Matter will be the album that, kind of unifies all our fans. Instead of just like, oh, I like The Word Alive, I like that song, or I like that album, it'll be like, if you like The Word Alive, you love Dark Matter. That was kind of our goal, was we wanted to write an album that could unify all of our fans, that we could go on stage every night and love playing no matter what, it was like, because we love the songs. So it just like, for us, it was not caring what people thought and not, writing an album for what people thought or what we thought they wanted, and more of what we wanted. And it's just more honest that way, and I think the reaction is, proof that we made the right decision, and all the time we spent on the album has already started to pay off, so it's a good feeling.
Cool. So maybe explain what the album is about. It's called Dark Matter, and I heard that it's somehow about the dark corners of the mind. Maybe you could elaborate on that one, that thought?
Yeah, there's Dark Matter was actually a working title of the song that remained Dark Matter. And as we were coming up with concepts for album titles, we just kept coming back to that because most of the lyrical content, a lot of the music just had that dark undertone to it, where it wasn't always like happy ending, it wasn't always like tell an uplifting story. There's a lot of songs that are just, make you think a little bit more and kind of self-reflecting, and some of the stories are just darker, content-wise. So it just made sense. It just felt like that was what it was. We felt like it was
where we were,
yeah,
as a
like,
band, I think.
Yeah, everything. Like I kind of refer to it as like it's like dark subject matter. Almost. It's because that's how it makes us feel. But like it's good to get off our chest. Kind of a thing. So yeah.
The electronics in this album sound quite bigger, and they have more spherical undertone to it. How do you think that electronics influence heavy music nowadays?
I think it's that's where it's going. I think that's where it's always been there. Just not as upfront as it is in Dark Matter, and other bands now that are coming out are all mostly electronics and stuff. And I think that we just I think we all love electronic sounds, and it can really add a totally different element to your sound and to your music. So we really wanted to take a lot of extra time and make sure that the sounds and the atmospheres and all the different vibes and stuff were really like on point for every song. We didn't put any time into this song than we did in this one. Every song had a ton of attention, and we spent a lot of time on. So it was, I think we will definitely continue to grow with electronic sounds, as a unit as well. So.
Yeah.
I read on Twitter, Telle, that you said something about European audiences compared to US audiences and that they're spoiled. Maybe you can explain what that was all about.
It's not necessarily a shot, like a negative thing towards the States. I just, some fans in the States are like, oh man, your show's 40 minutes away. And
they're sitting on their phone.
Yeah, and it's just like over here, it's like we have fans at this show that have been to 5 other shows on this tour.
They flew from Russia, just to come over and see like some shows,
and people who we play Germany and they'll go to every show in Germany. So it's like that is a lot more rare in the States, and it's just because, and it's not their fault necessarily, but it's like they could go to a show they like once a week or once a month or twice a month. Whereas over here, it's, few and far between. You might go to 4 or 5 shows the whole year that you really wanted to go to. So I just think it's the whole, supply and demand. Over in the States, there's just more supply than demand.
Every night.
Because you could go to a show all the time.
Every single night.
And at least in major cities. Obviously, there's fans that, we don't come near where they live, so they're used to traveling, and it's normal to them. So yeah, I wrote that just because we had fans coming from all over, and this fan from Japan who comes to a lot of our shows in the States actually, she comes to a lot of bands shows, and she'll go to 3 to 4 shows on a tour. And one of our friends just posted and was like, if someone can fly from Japan and go to multiple shows, and it's not so much obviously sometimes financially you can't, so it wasn't directed at those who can't, it's the ones who can but choose not to because they act like 40 minutes is far. And it's not. I grew up traveling way further than that to go to shows, and I didn't think twice about it. And honestly, I had more fun on the shows that were further away because it was like a trip. It was an adventure.
It's special.
Yeah, so I just, it was more just me kind of ranting just about, how I feel the States, we have it so easy, and it's not, like I said, it's not a bad thing, but it's just sometimes we need to, look at the bigger picture and look at the rest of the world and see how easy we do have it in a lot of ways. So that was just what that was about.
Speaking of Twitter and digitalization, do you think that bands nowadays have to be social media gurus to be successful, or is it just a component of what you're supposed to do as a band nowadays?
I don't think it's 100% necessary. It does help, but if you are that good and you have something that special, I do think that it'll find a way to shine still. But media and content, it just makes everything more accessible. It spreads. Someone might see a YouTube video you do of a guitar playthrough or something like that, and then it'll lead them to listening to the whole album. Or if you do an Instagram takeover for some, say, Vans Warped Tour or something, they have a whole audience that doesn't know your band that now is discovering your music. So it's only able to spread your music faster and
what's
wider.
Already existing. Okay.
Exactly.
It's just another tool.
Yeah.
That we, when I was growing up in the music scene, really not that long ago, but this is before Instagram and really Facebook. This is when MySpace was a big thing. Right when it started to get popular. We didn't really have all these different outlets, that we could put work into and get popular. So it's kind of the game has changed a little bit. I think it still is, like Telle said, you still have to be good. You still have to have something special. But it's almost, I would say social media is a part of a band's success now. In a way, in a small way.
Unfortunately, yeah. It's that way, and maybe even worse is because of social media, some bands can kind of garner attention and a fan base before they've actually put the time into their songs, to their live show. You know, we've always believed from day one that like our live show should be the staple of our band. It should be your favorite thing about us should be when you see us live. And because of social media, sometimes it's just the band looks good enough that they have a following because people are like, oh, I love that person, they're attractive, or they have a lot of tattoos or whatever. So sometimes bands get attention and it helps their band, but those kind of bands, I feel like if you rise too fast for the wrong reasons, then you fall
just as fast as you came up.
We'd rather be like the slow and steady, you know, like build fans the right way, play good music, work on our craft.
This is the thing I've recognized because there's some bands around who focus so much on social media that people won't actually turn up at the shows, but they base it all around the
they'll
digital
like all the
presence
pictures and they'll do
and the pictures.
and then the shows are like, you know, like not so great. So. Yeah.
Okay, so to sum up, what will the next steps be for your band after this tour where you headed this summer?
We're doing the whole Vans Warped Tour this summer, and I believe we have a couple German festivals right after Warped Tour. We're coming back for Summer Breeze and Destruction Derby, and after that, I think it's really just promote Dark Matter the best we can. You know, do more tours, and you know. When the time comes again, you know, I don't know how long, a year from now, a year and a half, 2 years, we're going to get back in the studio and we're going to do, you know, Dark Matter 2, another one basically.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's the plan. Totally.
Okay. That's it, guys. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.